เดี๋ยวแป๊บนึงนะนี่มันรวมหมดเลยใช่ไหม
ยังไม่มีอันนี้
Okay, okay, sorry. No, don't play this one.
Greetings, distinguished delegates and respected participants. My name is Tarat Tanapirasu.
My name is Narda Jarnachit, and I'm the youth project leader for the Marine Endangered Species for the Environmental and Social Foundation. And standing here in front of you all today is a very humbling and a very surreal moment. But I'm not only here as a student, but also I'm here as someone who has witnessed the silent beauty, but also the silent suffering of the environment and the marine life around us. So, for me, I believe that faith is a lot more than just in the words that we say, but it's in the actions that we choose to carry out, and it's also in the lives that we choose to protect. It's a lot more than just in temples or churches, but it's in the conscience that wakes when we see injustice in the world and when we see compassion that moves us to act. For me, my journey with faith is started all through my lens of the camera, through my documentaries about the whale shark, my seagrass restoration efforts, and also helping communities who rely on these vital ecosystems the most. And through this, it made me realize that it's a lot more than just a conservation effort, but it's actually faith in motion. I actually got the chance to visit a local island in Thailand called Got Jam, where I taught at a local Muslim school, where I shared my passion for environmental conservation to the students, especially to this young Muslim girl called Nong Ya, where we shared a really strong connection with one another. And that really made me realize that everything is so interconnected with religion, with faith, and with conservation, and how it's turning into this scientific duty is turning into much more of a spiritual one as well. And in the Islam concept of Khalifa as well, with stewardship, it shows that God entrusts us to take care of his creations, which is the world around us. Not only that, I got the chance to visit the tribe, an indigenous sea tribe called the Ulak Lawoy, where they also taught me so many things, that life is all of us around us. It's in they treat the oceans as relatives, and they don't treat it as a resource, and they honor and respect it like they're human, and they will always take what is needed and will give back whenever they can. Through these experiences, it really taught me and really shaped me to who I am right now, and showed me that faith is honestly everywhere if we look hard for it. And faith for me is balance. Faith for me is courage. And for me, courage is contagious. Courage is when I see these young students run back to their families and teach them about sustainable fishing. And to me, that is the core of faith. And to me, our generation is the generation that will face lots of challenges. We will. But we have enough power and control over the solutions as well. And I believe that if we don't have faith in our own actions, then who will? So faith for rights is the faith for life, and the future is ours to defend. Thank you.
Honorable delegates and esteemed leaders, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak as a representative for the youth and environment at this higher guard event, the 6th Faith for Rights Conference. My name is Prinutai Sangchai. I'm from NIST International School of Thailand, and I'm in grade 9. My journey with faith started since I was 6 years old, when I spent my time at Khao Lam Pi Hat Thai Mueang National Park, the last habitat of the leatherback turtles. Under the guidance of Dr. Alongkot Chukeo, I was there when the leatherback turtles completely disappeared from Thailand's shores. I was there when the leatherback turtles came back to lay their eggs for the first time again. And I was there to witness the nest being flooded due to global boiling and rising sea levels. It's astonishing to learn that merely 30 years ago, there were thousands of turtle nests on Thailand's shores annually, but now there are only 7 to 8. And some years there are even none. My film, Sanctuary of the Leatherbacks, I understood more deeply about their habitats both on land and sea, and how they're connected to ours. After they hatch, They head out onto a lifelong journey into an ocean, and in the next 25 to 30 years, some of these hatchlings will come back to this exact spot, this home where they'll lay their own eggs. That requires faith. Faith that the beach will still be there. Faith that they will come back. My story shows the connection between our world and theirs and how every species deserves the right for peaceful coexistence. I and the Youth Wildlife Guardians have traveled abroad and across Thailand to local students to work with communities. We spoke to ministers, researchers, and community leaders. Anyone who can make change. Anyone who will listen. I found that leaders of faith have made the impacts. Their teachings speak of stewardship of our nature. They are the ones who have been leading environmental conservation before anyone else. I had the chance to show my documentaries at the Khao Lampi Hat Thai Muang to the park rangers whose hard work have been recognized, and to over 500 students in the local community around the national park. Many of them are Dek Chao Le, or children who have grown near the ocean. These are the generations that are the ones who will protect their lands and sea, their own shorelines, their home. They are the guardians of the sanctuary. I've dreamt of a future, a world completely rid of pollution, filled with clean air, with clean water, and with animals that can live freely. This dream may seem so distant as the earth caves in, as species go extinct before our very eyes, and as the climate boils and turns our home into an inferno. However, the day I first watched those tiny hatchlings leave their own homes into the ocean was the day I realized that amidst all the negative impacts of climate change, there's still hope. Hope that in creating a new world where all species can live in harmony. Faith is not in the words, but the actions we take. The power of youth and leaders of faith can combine. We, the youth, bring the passion and urgency, and you, the leaders of faith, bring the moral compass and the deep community roots. We are not just dreaming of a better world, but we are building one. One cleanup, one documentary, and one prayer at a time. Together, we can lead action for change, to protect life and create a true sanctuary for us all to call home. Thank you.
Can you just skip the rest of the clip, please?
Yeah. Which one is the next? Sorry.
The Nicobar pigeon? Not sure. Buddhism is the fourth largest religion in the world, having over 500 million followers. A fundamental aspect of Buddhism is the interconnection and interdependence of living beings, including animals, and this leads to a respectful attitude towards nature and emphasizes living harmoniously with it. Hello, dear guests and fellow advocates. My name is Tristan Kanjanapas, and I am fortunate enough to have the opportunity to stand in front of you all and share my views. The Faith for Rights meeting is held to remind us of the human rights, and I believe that one human right is to experience and appreciate nature to its fullest. Unfortunately, that nature has been getting reduced by the minute as new technologies such as artificial intelligence require massive amounts of energy to run, leading to the destruction of nature as resources are depleted and global temperatures rise. Nature is getting pushed to the brink, and before we know it, it will be gone. I've only seen a fraction of what our world has to offer, and yet I am entranced and amazed by it. Trees with complicated root systems, allowing them to transport nutrients from the ground below to meters above, birds with extravagant feathers putting on display for mates, and the smallest of mosses hiding between the cracks in the stone. Nature has evolved over hundreds of millions of years, and every cell, every organism has evolved to be ever so intricate, more complex than we could ever fathom. Nature is incredible, and I believe that we should protect it. This links back to Buddhism. I think people should learn from the teachings of Buddhism, because if more people are respectful of and are willing to coexist with nature, then more people in the future will have the right to see and experience our world to the fullest extent. This inspired me to make a documentary about the Nicobar pigeon to share the beauty of nature to others and foster a sense of appreciation, especially in the youth. During the production of my documentary, though, I learned several things about the importance of nature that I did not previously know. I went to Makan village, an indigenous village, and I asked them about the whereabouts of the local Nicobar pigeons. But they told me they hadn't seen any in a while, since increased tourism meant their village was getting a lot louder during certain periods. This made me feel disappointed, but in that moment, I came to a very important realization. For many, nature isn't just something that they can find intrinsic value in, but is also a large part of their cultures and lives. Therefore, if these people cannot continue their lifestyle, this would violate their right to maintain their traditions. The more I learn about the importance of the natural world, the more I feel that I can't let people destroy it. I will protect nature with everything I can muster, and I want others to do the same, for the good of our world and future generations. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Napatsan Sampon. I'm from Denla British School, and I am a representative from the Youth Wildlife Guardians program. I am honored to be here today to share how faith in justice, compassion, and life can help us build a better community and a better planet. The 6th Faith for Rights meeting is held to connect faith with human rights and emphasize how faith is a strong power that links us all together. It doesn't matter what country, religion, or nationality you are. We are all equal and have a right to be on this planet. Therefore, we are all responsible for preserving our planet, whether it's through wildlife conservation or simply recycling reused items. We can all make an impact, no matter how small the act is. Inspired by this message, I began thinking about what faith in action really looks like, and that's when my filmmaking journey began. I've made a documentary about dusky langurs, an endangered animal in Southeast Asia. In the documentary, I highlighted the importance of wildlife conservation for all endangered animals. After observing the monkeys for a few days, I passed on my findings to the Lahu tribe, a youthful generation that would soon become the future caretakers of our planet. Their faith in preserving the planet and the faith in every other young mind is what we can count on to save the Earth. At the end of the documentary, I gave a special thanks to Dr. Jane Goodall. I took inspiration from her story, and that is one of the reasons I decided to make the documentary in the first place. She was an extraordinary woman who dedicated her whole life to researching and observing apes. Through this experience, I discovered how powerful faith in life and the natural world is. If we didn't have faith, we wouldn't be where we are now. Faith is shown even in the smallest things. When the dusky langurs' homes were destroyed, did they give up? No. They kept on moving, they kept on taking care of one another, and they kept on trying to survive. That is what we should all do. Learn from our mistakes and try to get better. Faith can go a long way, but only if we believe in its power. Together, through faith, compassion, and shared responsibility, we can transform our beliefs into action, whether it's through filmmaking, community advocacy, or planting trees. After Dr. Jane Goodall's passing, she left us a message, and I'm going to read a part of that message to you. I want you to understand that we are part of the natural world, and even today, when the planet is dark, there still is hope. Don't lose hope. If you lose hope, you become apathetic and do nothing. And if you want to save what is still beautiful in this world, if you want to save the planet for the future generations, your grandchildren, their grandchildren, then think about the actions you take each day, because multiplied 1,000,000 billion times, even small actions will make for great change. Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished delegates, esteemed leaders, and respected guests. My name is Tanadon Cheshuong. My nickname is Nadal, so you can just call me that. I'm deeply honored to stand before you today as a representative of the Youth Wildlife Guardians and as a filmmaker of the award-winning documentary The Charming Leopard Sharks, which has won over 20 international film festival awards and has been showcased in every single continent in the world. Joining this United Nations conference has filled me with both humility and hope. Hope that the voices of young people like me and my friends can echo beyond borders, and humility in knowing that faith, justice, and compassion begin with how we choose to protect life itself. The sixth Faith for Rights meeting reminds us that faith is not limited to religious rituals or sacred spaces. True faith lives in the choices we make in compassion, moral courage, and pursuit of justice for all living beings. When we speak of faith for rights, we speak of the power that guides us to defend defend life, human and non-human alike. To me, this principle means that practicing one creature is a reflection of protecting our shared humanity. As one of the guiding statements of Faith for Rights expresses, faith gives us strength to stand for justice for those who cannot speak. And in my work, those who cannot speak are the leopard sharks of Thailand seas. My documentary tells the story of the leopard sharks, a species once abundant in Thai's oceans, now slowly disappearing due to habitat loss, climate change, and overfishing. Through years of research, filming, and diving, I discovered not just the beauty of these species and the ocean, but also the fragile relationship between humans and the marine world. In the making of this film, I saw how faith and science come in hand. Local divers, Muslim fishermen, and local Buddhist communities along the coast share one belief, that the ocean is sacred, and to harm it is to harm ourselves. Their devotion to protecting marine life is a living example of faith turned into action, a reminder that our moral duty extends beyond humanity to all beings that share this planet. Through this project, I learned that filmmaking is not just a form of art, it's a form of advocacy to give voice to those who cannot cry out for help. Like the gentle leopard shark gliding beneath the waves. This journey taught me that faith in life means believing in the right of every creature to exist. Human rights and the rights of nature are inseparable, and when one is violated, both suffer. Every frame of my documentary reflects that belief. Faith, in its purest form, is not only found in temples, churches, or mosques, but it's found in small acts that protect life, whether it's releasing a rehabilitated animal, reducing plastic waste, or inspiring others through storytelling. Today, I stand here not only as a student or filmmaker, but as part of a generation that refuses to give up on our planet. The Dharma century begins when we all see life, from the smallest seahorse to the largest whale shark, as sacred. It is the promise we carry from the ocean to the world that compassion, justice, and faith will guide us towards a future where every life matters. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello, I hope everyone remembers my name from the start. So I would like to deliver some ending remarks for my wonderful group here. So, to conclude, this meeting reminds us that faith and human rights are not separate. They are a part of a shared responsibility that everyone is included, all cultures, all ethnicities, all individuals. Faith for rights reminds and calls for us to protect those who are most vulnerable, the poor, the displaced, the indigenous, because these people may hold valuable information and views about different ways we can look at nature or harmony. When we raise the rights of the smallest groups of people, we are protecting the rights of humanity itself. In my documentary, Time and the Vanishing, I explore how time reveals to us what is being lost, not only in nature, but in the voices of these people who are slowly starting to fade away. My documentary may look through the fragile beauty of marine life, but it also shines light on the perspectives of locals, indigenous peoples, oceanic minorities whose lives depend on the ocean. So now, the word faith is an act of inclusion. This film is my way of showing how if we're going to protect our world's oceans, if we're going to protect our planet, we must first protect the people living in it. So, let this be our promise. Faith for rights, faith for life, faith for everyone. May faith unite us beyond borders, languages, beliefs, to protect both people and nature before time turns us into silence. Thank you.
I think we have some technical problems, but I think we will be heading to Wat Bawanivet, and those youths will be talking to you as well during the lunch. So there will be some exchanges, and I hopefully that we could arrange some TV or some panel there so that we can show their movies later on. Those movies, I have to tell you, they have won a lot of international environment film festivals. So please give a loud for him. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Ibrahim, please.
Can I just, on behalf of you all in this
Please.
room, make a confession to